I hope you enjoyed the breakout rooms. I would like to ask to our youth network if we could share some highlights from the breakout rooms, so we can maybe start a discussion from there and also continue with question and answers.
Yeah, so very quickly, we had a great discussion in our breakout group. I think the things that I pointed down was the importance of people's values, the importance of the values that underpin our systems. For example, we spoke about the food production system, and how that's creating like a multitude of problems in society. We spoke about the importance of intergenerational collaboration, and really working together, and the point of fostering youth, so fostering the next generation.
We spoke about some practical means in our tradition, things that we do like in our day-to-day lives. Something as simple as donating like old clothes, for example. Like as soon as you purchase something new, you kind of put something else in for donation. Gulzar spoke that in their tradition, I think it's like a fifth. Yeah.
That's correct. Yes, a fifth of anything that you have not consumed or utilized. If you've got more than what you need in excess, anything in excess, a fifth of it annually needs to be given away in charity.
Yeah, which is beautiful. Yeah, I guess that was where we wrapped up. But although I just wanted to touch on one question that Bhavesh Desai just put in the chat, where they're asking, can you give me some examples of practical things that your faith community is doing or action they're taking to fight climate change? So something in our, just wanted to comment that our Jain community we're doing currently is a planting for peace project. So we've planted like 1,000 trees in northwest London. We started that on the anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi's 150th birth year in 2019, and that's a project that's been continuing. So we've that's a peace forest that we created in northwest London, and then we've created like little gardens, which we called Ahimsa Peace Gardens, in recreation grounds around our area currently. So these are practical ways that I guess we not only get the community involved, but also help to protect the environment. Thank you.
Thank you for answering it. I'm pretty sure we do have answers from our other speakers as well. Just to point out that I will be sharing contact details. We are happy to receive all the questions that we won't be able to cover here and come back with you, or any feedbacks, any comments as well. Unfortunately, our time is very short tonight.
I think the main tension that we've focused on was holding people accountable, or companies, for even past actions, non-actions of faith communities in regarding to the environment. So yeah, there's been a frustration there, and at the same time, how do you use that frustration to not cause a clash, or it's them that's at fault, it's not me that's at fault. So yeah, the pressure to hold someone accountable, but also to understand where they're coming from in order to motivate behavioral change, that's something that's difficult. That also needs to be understood, right? We need to listen to other people and not construct them as the evildoers. That is just not helpful to anyone.
So we also had a really lovely group conversation, and one point that stood out for us was the interconnectedness of things, so of humans, nature, animals, and the importance of sharing. So sharing our energy, sharing our time for a greater good, and also taking personal responsibility. So that was one of the points. And I'm just going to share in the chat as well a link about an environmental project that the Brahma Kumaris is doing. It's India's largest solar power plant project. So I'm just putting it in the chat, and then you can have a look in your own time. Thank you.
We kind of spoke about spirituality, like was discussed by many of our speakers, but kind of using that as a base to actually create action for change for the environment, and kind of the interesting link between all the religions and protecting the environment, and this kind of goal of respecting and protecting. And we also, I know Lakshmi will tell you, because she's a big fan, she's a big advocate for, which is planting trees. And how that's sort of a very simple thing that we can all do to reduce our carbon footprint, or kind of equalize our carbon footprint, if not. So we spoke about kind of different initiatives like the Africa Green Wall initiative, and I think that links in very kind of well to the Planting for Peace initiative that was spoke about within the Jain community. So yeah, it was a really interesting conversation overall.
And Amina mentioned that whatever happens in one part of the world will affect another part of the world. So we are interconnected, and we have to be aware of what we do. And then we have Dunya, and Dunya also an interesting point. She mentioned that bridging the gap between this generation with elderly generation. That was a good point as well. I have similar experience, and I can relate to her. Then we had Harriet, and I believe she is from Interfaith Network. She joined us to get experience from and learn from us. And finally, Don, and his point was that faith does play a major role when it comes to the environment. And so that's the highlight of my group.
We focused a lot on the question about consumption. And so Jamie pointed out that actually it's very difficult to avoid, but actually faith groups have a real kind of connection to it, the idea of kind of not over consuming, about sustainability. And it would be good to see more of that, I think, in the wider world. And then also Georgina spoke to us about doing things at simplicity, simply, I'll get the word out eventually, and also doing things kind of with love as well, and kind of focusing on that in our daily lives. So yeah, and so thank you all for in the group. It was a really lovely conversation.
I just wanted to say thank you. It was a wonderful event. I really did not anticipate to have so many different perspectives and all being unified at the core, literally just humanity and the environment, and all being one. I really enjoyed the discussions in the breakout groups, and I think we even had room to carry on for another good half an hour. So maybe if the only feedback from me could possibly be maybe it was a bit longer. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Golzar. Yes, given the time, unfortunately, we tried to keep it quite short because we didn't want to tire more you, the attendees, as is a weekday event we are having. But as I said, it's a start of sessions, and we will follow up with more, and we will have different faith groups joining us as well, as we only had 6 of them tonight.
Yeah, it was a wonderful session, and for the first time all of you did very well. I thoroughly enjoyed all of you, David, Dawod, Jaineel, Lucy, Nicole. Everybody was in their own way they were good, and you put that spiritual element in every one of them, and they well done. Thank you very much, Ada, for permitting me to speak. And I once again congratulate all the speakers for their wonderful presentations, and keep it up.
Thank you very much, Ada, for putting this together, and the Religions for Peace. I think it was a wonderful session, as everyone has agreed. What I really enjoyed was something that Jahangir Sarosh has taught me before, and something that I've learned from my childhood, that when light is shone, darkness automatically reduces or goes away completely. And what you have all done today is shine that light of your own inner light so beautifully. And as Ervad Yazadunwala pointed out from the Zoroastrian Trust Funds of Europe, that this common order, what he called Asha, is something that now I think the world is seeing. I come from a mixed background myself, so I've been taught different religions from my childhood. But I think all of you have brought out the fact that the commonality of spirituality and mindfulness, respect, harmony, fellowship, being, as Jamie Creswell said, non-attachment. These are, and being mindful of what we use, are things that are so common to all the faiths and none that science also brings about. So thank you all young people for sharing your wisdom.
Thank you very much for all of your lovely comments. We are very glad that you found it interesting. As I said, and I'm repeating myself, this is the first session. Our sessions are going to continue with different faiths put together, and we will have different topics as well. We would be very much looking forward to also having future collaborations if you are interested.